All right, whenever I'm asked about the question of poverty, I always insist on changing the topic to that of inequality and social solidarity. Poverty, which is linked to inequality, is inherent in the distribution of land and distribution of capital and the nature of the capitalist and private landowning system. There's an inevitability of inequality and therefore of poverty within that system. Of course, there are local circumstances, sometimes of religion, sometimes of geography, sometimes of history, which make that exacerbate that, but the basic framework is the one I just described. Again, I would talk in terms of the need to reduce inequalities and the need to increase social solidarities. I think we have to move away from what has been for the past 20 years the global politics of poverty reduction towards something called the global politics of social solidarity. Measures which focus on the poor, targeted measures which focus on the poor, are ineffective. They are poor services and poor quality benefits. Only when you have universal provisions of poverty, of social security, universal systems of social security, will you then get improved situations, because those who tax and are taxed for those services benefit from them. And that social solidaristic way of developing effective welfare states, which is the history of Northern Europe in a much lower income situation, is the kind of a lesson we have to return to and forget talking about poverty, instead talking about issues of social solidarity and equity. Again, I'm insisting on focusing on the inequality question as linked fundamentally to the issues of poverty, including extreme poverty. I think the Sustainable Development Goals are an important step forward from the previous MDGs, because they do indeed address the issue of social inequality, and therefore we have now, if you like, the global legitimacy to talk about those questions and to formulate policies which address those issues. However, the Sustainable Development Goals, leave unanswered the question of the global architecture and the improvements in global social and economic governance which might enable countries to do that. So I think we really have to work much more on the issues of strengthening effective global economic and social governance, which might involve issues of global tax cooperation, it might involve issues of better global social regulation, and it might involve issues of funding social rights for those countries that cannot realise them. So we have a long way to go, but we will start at least in addressing those issues.